it was my values in my life that took me to my peak in my life, where from going from nothing to something, or from a vision to a physical reality. But at the same time, in that journey of mine, I've learned that, or in that journey of mine, I've experienced a massive downfall, which then set me up for a high takeoff in my forex industry or in my forex career.
Yeah. What do you mean by you have experienced a massive downfall in your forex journey this far?
Excuse me?
What do you mean by you have experienced a massive downfall in your trading journey or your forex journey so far?
So what I mean by this is that it's a snowball over things, but first we'll start off where I come from, so you can understand what I mean by downfall. Is that it's about not being consistent as a trader to becoming a consistent trader, to making 150 Rand a day, to making 1,000 up to 60,000 Rand in a day, to making 10,000 Rand a day, to 5,000 Rand a day consistently. And then at the same time, it happened so fast, everything just happened so fast in my life. Like, what happened was, I was so in emotion of making money that I didn't realize I got lost in the source. And basically what I mean by this is that I was making so much money at the time that I didn't know how to manage my money. I thought I knew how to manage my money, but coming from living at my mom, small bedroom, and then moving out, where I have a family to take care of, and become a man very fast. What happened was, I was making money so quick that at the age of 21, I was making 100,000 Rand a month. So for me personally, it was a lot of money, but I didn't know how to manage that money. So for me personally, what I then learned at that time was managing money was a big important aspect that I didn't have as a skill, because it's a skill. But what I can definitely say is that my massive downfall was not learning to manage my money, but losing, I think, a whole 100,000 Rand in one single day. Not even a single day, but like in an hour. 30 minutes, I think, like hour, 30 minutes. So there's a whole build-up of my career coming to a point where I'm making a 10,000 Rand a day, 5,000, it adds up, we get 5,000 Rand a day, makes 100,000 Rand a month. So 10,000 makes 200,000 a month, and in 20, 21, so everything's just so smooth. So for me personally, what happened was, when I think about it, it was so fast, and I think we just bought the house. It wasn't final yet. It was final, but not final. We had to sign the last papers, the last transfer duties, because I had to still pay like I think about 100 and something. So at I think it was 22, it was 21, 22, something like that. We bought the house, right? Our first property of just a million, right? And it's a big thing. It's a big achievement, in my accomplishment in my life, in my family's life. But then what happens was, in this whole moment of achieving this big thing, I'm also achieving bigger milestones in my training career, hitting that 100,000 Rand in 2 weeks, growing from 3,000. It sounds like what, but yeah, grew from 3,000 to 100,000 Rand in within like 2 weeks. And then so making that 60,000 a day, making that milestone that I wanted to reach, it just started happening. But I was so up in the source that I was misusing my peaks. You can understand now. Basically, I was on my peak, right? And I didn't know how to utilize what I had in my peak when everything's going right. And that set me up for my downfall, for my valley. So basically, what I did is I set myself up for the valley. So I lost basically, I made 100,000 and I lost in 1 hour. I was sitting in the bedroom. I was sitting next to my girlfriend next to her in the bedroom. She's sleeping, and she didn't know anything's happening. But at that time, a lot happened. Was that I lost the whole 100,000 in at least in an hour, 30 minutes or 15 minutes, something like that, because of the euphoric feeling of I'm gonna make more money, I'm gonna make 100, I'm gonna make a 500. In my mind at that time, at that point in time, all I thought about was that I'm gonna make I just took 3,000 to 100,000, so I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling like everything's going well. I mean, we bought a house, everything's just amazing. So for me personally, I felt like by tomorrow, if I take a trade year on, I'm gonna wake up with 500,000, half a million, and then we're gonna continue this. So I'm in this euphoric feeling. So I'm on the peak, and then I'm just setting myself up for the valley. And of course, it didn't work out. I lost the whole 100,000. My world started crashing down, and after that, it was just snowball after snowball. Because now it was I started taking money. It's easy to say, you shouldn't do that, but like at that moment in time, no one's here to coach you not to do so. Like, so as a mentor, I'm mentoring people. I'm telling people what to do. So no one's mentoring me, and or coaching me, or no one has set me up for what forex has in store for you. Like what is possible, what's potential. Yes, they talk about it, but no one has taught me or informed me what is yet to come. If you reach a certain level, you start risking a certain amount. Yes, they say risk, but no one really coached me personally to say that or prepared me for that. Failure. If you want to say failure, but it's not actually failure, it's a lesson. So for me, lost 100,000. Now I have money in my bank account, my personal account, my business bank account, but I never told my girlfriend. I couldn't tell her. I was disgusted. I had to wake up. I had to act like I'm normal. I had to tell her. No one knew. I was just feeling so crushed, like no one understood. But anyway, also my girlfriend, I kind of like told her at that time she don't have to work. So everything was like just on me at that time, right? So what happened was I had to pay for the attorneys and fucking accountant. It's like 20,000 goes here, 30,000 goes here, then 80,000 goes here, it's 100,000 this side, and no one knows what the fuck is happening. So for me personally, it was just a lot going in my life at the time. So what I did is I had like about, in a nutshell, I started putting money in my trading account. Okay, so I put another 10,000 in, below the 10,000, put another 50,000 below. I just keep putting money in my account. So until I probably lost another 200,000. No one knew this shit. No one knew this. So I'm at the point where I have I think I had about exactly I think about 78,000 there left in my account. That's including everything. So I'm basically at the point where some people who doesn't have money say 8,000 will seem a lot, but when you have shit to pay, like bills to pay, you have your own boss, sounds nice, you have things to take care of, like you need to have, I still need to do 180,000 rand payment to secure the last transfer fees, so everything is just perfect, right, on the outside. But shit is not going my way, and I call my mom and tell her, look here, I need to set up a call with you, to discuss something very important. I didn't, because no one knew. I didn't tell her. So I had to tell her, look, I need to talk with you right now, but I can't talk at home because I don't want to tell Naomi to stress. I don't want Naomi to stress about anything. So I told her, look, let's go out for to Tiger's Milk and we talk about this, and because I need your help right now, because I might lose everything and I might have to move in with you again. So that's at that point where I didn't know how to tell her, but I'm gonna keep quiet. And at home it's about, I need to buy this, I need to take care of this, I need to take care of this, and no one understood what I need to, what I'm going through at this point. And all the stress on me. So when I'm trading, it's about I need to do this, and no one understands when I'm trading. I need to, focus. I sit down with mom at the Tiger's Milk, look here, this is what needs to happen. I might lose everything, and I'm at the very blink of losing everything. I don't have nothing in my trading account. This is all I have. I showed I lost all the money in my trading accounts. I can show I blew all my money. I can show how much I deposit. And I blew my funded accounts. So I tell you, at this point in time, if I lose everything, are you okay with me supporting with me? Are you fine? I will like come back. And at that time I didn't have a baby on the way. Right now I have a baby on the way, so that time it was easy I was actually thinking like, okay, maybe I can ask Naomi to go, maybe she has to move back with the parents, maybe, and then I'll have to move back with my parents, and That was my whole scenario that time, but I didn't know to tell him. So I just had to think about how can I not make this happen. Tell my mom tells me, Lucia, have you made money before in the market? I said, yes, I did. She's like, okay, so you can do it again. Just go again. Don't tell anyone yet, so they don't stress you out and feel like they need to stress about anything. And then she went back. Things wasn't as easy because like I had to pull myself back up. But then in that same the whole scenario that has happened, so many more things happened. Which you probably touch base on, and that also just seemed like it was more deeper and deeper and deeper. But at the end of it, a lot of it has taught me to become, a gym, I'd say hidden gym that will take you to a peak again. But it's in the when everything goes bad, that something as a lesson that's hidden that actually makes me learn something or teaches you something to take you back to a peak. But when you're on a peak, you need to learn how to utilize what you have to continue a peak, because it's going to come a valley, but you need to learn how to make it valley shorter and the peak longer.
So why were you not comfortable sharing this with the forex community?
Why am I?
Why were you not comfortable sharing this with the forex community?
Why wasn't I comfortable sharing today's community? Okay, so sharing the trading community means that I must become more vulnerable to thousands of opinions. That at that current point in time, I didn't have the emotional and mental capacity to shape and to deal with the lashback of, oh, you're a good trader, so you make so much money, why can't you just put so much money back and make the money back? You see? So sharing at that time would have not been the best thing for my own emotional health and mental health, because at that time I felt like I was very depressed. I was picking up more weight, no one knew why. I was eating myself away. I was drinking myself away. I didn't sleep. I stayed more up. I just lost my routine. I felt so demotivated. All these things became part of that whole scenario of trying to make the money and losing more money and so much other things in my life not going right. And then buying a house and having to move out that with so much pride, I have to dignity put it aside and then moving away back. So I didn't share all that at that time, but I wanted to share it like now we're sharing it, It's to inspire you because I've learned something from it. At that time I would have just been out of emotions, like venting to people. At this point I'm not venting, this point I'm here to inspire and aspire more traders and the aspiring traders, inspire them to aspire more, and become a trader and knowing that this is what you need to prepare for. And traders don't like to talk about this. And I would like to share this,
How did you deal with this?
How did I deal with this? At first, honestly speaking, at first, it was more of like, keep to myself, try to make the money more back. That's what I did at first. It was like, in my mind, I spoke to myself and I reminded myself that what has got me here? Like, what has really got me here? And I told myself, before I met my girlfriend, before I met these people I know now, those people who I brought on my team, in the forex team, that they also took a bit from me, and I'm paying them, and a lot of people took over from me. And before I knew anyone, what did I do back then in my room? I had a routine, and I personally developed myself. So I went back to the basics. In a nutshell, I lost everything. I didn't lose everything. I'm still blessed. I was still blessed to have at least some money and a roof over my head. So for me, it was like, going back down means that, I should go back to basics. So how I dealt with it was first learn to mentally and emotionally take care of myself and build my faith again, because I have to have more faith that I'm going to make it. Because at that time it was like, I didn't see the vision. It wasn't clear. That's why now I see my vision getting clearer, because I had to sing it out loud. And then my vision was getting blurred. It's like I know I must be faithful. I know I must have this vision. I can't see it. It's like you can't. No one will understand it unless they experience it. So for me, it was like at that time, it was like all I reminded me every day when I woke up was that I have people that's relying on me. I have myself to take care of. So how I dealt with this was going back to the basics. daily routine, habits, reading, because reading was what helped build my a healthy mindset. I meditated more to bring more peace in my mind so I can think clear and clear my thoughts. I think speaking with my mom really helped me a lot because I knew having someone to fall on was like, okay, if I'm gonna fall, someone is gonna like get me, grab me, because I know I had someone who will help me. That is what really helped me. And then just going back to basics, personal development, and not trying to please Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and people at the forest race and make what they're making, but more of going back to like, I had to suck up the pride of going back to making 1,000 a day. It sounds crazy, but like I was not okay with from making 10,000 a day, 5,000 a day, to just go back to 1,500 a day. I could not take that. It was like no ways. Like it didn't feel like I needed more. I have shit to pay. So yeah.
So you were not chasing the skill, now you were chasing the money, basically, in a nutshell.
I think so. So much stress, so much. So all I thought about is chase the money, and I started changing my philosophy because of things like chase the skill, the money should follow. But I was chasing the money, and the money will never get. You're never gonna get the money. Yeah.
I believe you had to make some sacrifices along the way. What were the sacrifices that you actually had to put down and say, okay, this is things that I really have to do to get myself back in order?
Sacrifices I made, if I think nicely, I'm still making them right now. Because I'll be really honest, very frank about it. I had to move from the house we bought out, right? Because why? Not because I couldn't afford it really. I knew I couldn't afford it afterwards. It's just that God knew. He didn't want to embarrass me. He didn't want to embarrass me, but I knew, look, I was not going to be able to afford it afterwards. Because I had to pay more things. And at that point, I needed money to preserve, to invest, and not to give more out. So, okay. Sacrifice I made, which she brought in a disguise at that time, was removing out. And then, so one was selling back the property. And going back to where I pay rent and less than what I was paying bond, because I was paying much more. So I went back to just a little bit under my means. Another thing is trying to live under my means. Living means like spending. Okay, so I spend a lot of money on alcohol. I did. I used to like good alcohol, whiskey, for just to say that, and cognacs and stuff like that. So I said not spend less of those. Cut off from that. I used to like eating a lot of takeaways, so a lot of my money went to remember I was feeding myself. So it was sushi, and anything else that we need. Oh, we need this one, then we buy. Adds up 1,000 a day, makes 20,000 a month. So if you spend 1,000 a day, also how you spend 1,000 a day, it's easy, bro. Just buy some fast food. Twice, once in a while, once a night, you spend 1,000. So it means you spend 20,000 a month. And I had to learn and cut off from that and learn to budget. So that was a sacrifice I had to make, and following a trading plan, because now it wasn't about just making a flip in the forex market. It was about, okay, you know what, this needs to work. If I'm not going to make it work, I'm moving back to my mom and I have to get a job or something like that. But luckily God helped me, and I'm here.
What advice would you have for people in the forex industry as in them being supportive?
What advice?
What advice would you have for people in the forex industry as in them being supportive towards one another?
Very good question. First of all, the South African industry, traders wants to be better than the next person, like the best trader. The reason because they're not necessarily trying to be best as a trader, but they want to be the best forex mentor teacher. It's different. And this is something I've understood, that when I was trying to work with some good traders, what's called at the time, they were not actually traders. They were people selling courses, and I'm not against them, courses and just selling robots and selling stuff to the clients. So they weren't really traders. They were just selling things. The reason why they're not really supporting each other is because they think they're going to steal a client from them. If I'm going to support you, you're going to go low, you're going to go above me, and so what my advice would be is, know that no one can steal your shine. If God has a plan for you, He's going to make it regardless of whoever's going to be in your way. Whatever's going to come in your way won't stop you from becoming the greater person that you want to become. And if you believe, that someone's going to steal from you, so will it be. But if you believe and you go with the mindset, and this is for all my traders out there, don't have a scarcity mindset, but rather have an abundant mindset, knowing that if whoever you're going to work with is there to be loyal towards you, and it's so will be, because law of attraction works like that whatever you put out in the universe, you attract more of it. And if I continue putting out that people are going to steal from me and I shouldn't support that person, that is no, that's a trade, that trade is not the real trader, all that, then I'll always just get more of that to complain about. But if I'm gonna, and that's what I'm saying, as a trader, each trader is an individual, should start changing their mind about perceiving how to work with traders. Because if I could just view you as you always want the best for me, you're loyal to me, I'm loyal to you, and I want the best for you. There will be no reason to not support each other, and there'll always be enough for each other. So for me as a trader, I always reach out to traders. I like any trader. I reach out to them to tell them I support them and I know that, because I know what it truly means I know what it means to not have and things not to go your way as a trader, because a lot of traders don't understand what it takes to be a true trader and run this business.
So would you say being in contact with one another or letting one another know that you are truly there for them, not just as in trading forex, but also in like business outside forex, and also not them having to worry about you stealing clients, because there's how many people in this world?
Like it's we don't want to lie about this, that it's very true honest. That as a mentor, you're not just making money off trading. You also have clientele like mentors. Like it's something that they need to be very honest about, and I'm going to be very honest about it. That you have your signals, you have your mentorship, you have maybe your course, and you have your own trading career. Now, I wouldn't have a problem with, first I just mentioned, I don't have a problem with a real trader having those things. But those who's not a real trader, you must feel bad about that. So for me personally, what I will say is that there's a balance we want, and just have a balanced mindset. And it's not about that. If you're a true trader, there's more than enough money. If you're a true trader, there's more than enough money on the forex market. So we should change our minds to clientele, to more to trading. I mean, that's what we came here for. So, yeah.
Definitely. So your values, while your peaks has taught you
Your values has taught you to go to peak.
to the peaks.
Yeah.
And to actually be able to maintain that what you've gained in the valley from the peak. It's much longer.
What has happened was basically that when I was going the downside, I actually learned that the downside, because remember, everyone has a high and a low in their life, but your low was all determined how you manage that downside to turn it back into peak. Because whatever you learn in this valley is there's a lesson there that will help you to continue climbing. And on the peak, there's nothing to learn but just to celebrate. And when you're there on top, you're the one, when you have it, that stuff that you acquired from the bottom to the top, not to celebrate with, those things you utilize it and the how you utilize it will determine if you're going to continue going back down and how deep you're going down or how short you're going down. So your peak is all determined by how you manage your valley, and your valley is all determined how you manage your peak. So if you manage your peak very well, you can have a longer peak, meaning more success. And if you don't manage it correctly, you set yourself up for a valley, for more failure. But now my perspective was that life was always an additional lesson, and that's what helped me to get me out. Is that whatever I'm going through, I look for the hidden gem in it, the lessons in it to take me to a peak. And when I'm on the peak, ask myself, how can I make this last longer? And when I'm back in the valley, because I'm gonna go back in the valley, when every time all of us can go back in the valley, how can I make this shorter? So making the peak last longer and the valley shorter.
Beautiful.
Thank you. That was all.
It's very nice.
Thank you so much. I hope this helps. I just want to help people and inspire them that knowing that as a trader you will experience losses. It's totally normal, but we should remember that if you keep your focus with the plan and play the plan, not emotions, know that any trader will go through a losing period, but you need to know how to manage those losing periods to take it back to a peak, to a winning period.
I just want to say thank you for adding value on each and every video that you provide.
Thank you.
In the free community or wherever.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Always appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Nice.
Thank you. Till we see each other again.